looks like I got it. 48 slime. Wow, that is a lot. Anyways, as I had mentioned, my my players have a tendency to have difficulty with showing up to the sessions. When that happens, I just kind of have to go on without them. And then every now and then they will return and they will say, "Hey, I don't like what you did with my character." And it's like, well, hey, I don't like that you said you were going to show up once a week for like 6 hours and then never even showed up. More importantly, you didn't notify me you weren't going to show up. You didn't tell anyone you weren't going to show up. You just didn't show up. Like, I understand I have a thing where you can set your tag to whether or not you're going to be showing up for the session. However, a lot of people just turn that on and then just never turn it off. It's like, well, do you ever plan to actually play your character? Because if not, I could have killed them off 5 times already. I've chosen to keep your character alive actively by keeping your character out of dangerous situations. Are you ever going to play them? And it's like, well, yeah. Great. When? When are you going to play them? Because, as I mentioned, I've been keeping them alive, and they've technically been, like, getting a lot of things after them. You kind of need to maintain your character. They're like, yeah, I'll do it, and then they never do. It's kind of stupid. It's kind of lame. It's not very fun for me or the other players. Like, it's decently bad if it's not fun for the GM, because the GM is the person who made the world. They are the game master. It's kind of what they do. But when it's additionally not fun for the players, then that's just someone basically causing problems for the whole table. And yeah, by that point, it's time for some form of action. And that's usually the point at which I, explain to them that they need to play their character. They're usually like, oh, ha 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 ha. And it's like, no, you don't understand. Everyone else has been playing their characters for the last half a year. You have not. And they're like, oh, okay. So what does that mean? It's like, it means that if you don't play your character, you're going to end up falling victim to, a hungry slime or something. Then you won't have a character to come back to. Technically speaking, his character could have died about 10 times in the last year had all of the players gotten regular attendance. I could have had his character just retire in the swamp, and they'd have become some sort of swamp hermit or something. But But instead, no, I kept his character around, I kept his character alive, I kept his character active, doing things, and he was not very appreciative of it. And it's like, well, maybe if you played your character every now and then, I wouldn't have to make up shit about what they do and what they like and how they act, you know? I play my character constantly, I try and show up to every session. I try and basically be a good example of what a good player is supposed to be like. I try and be a decent player. I try and, handle the situations that my character finds themselves in. I try to resolve all of the different situations that arise that requires my character's attention. My character being a wizard, they have their own issues to deal with as well. Specifically, my wizard, Jack Mist, is currently researching a bunch of spells. He's doing a bunch of experimentations with spells, and he's adding all of these lovely new spells to his spellbook in order to be able to cast them, because that's what wizards do. They add their spells to their spellbooks, and then they can cast spells. However, he has not had the chance to add his spells to a spellbook, much less his own spellbook, for a very long period of time, because he's just been so busy with everything else that he has not had time to even work on his own spells. That's my character. My character is, appreciative of having a bit of downtime that allows him to work on his spellbook, because he was wanting to expand his arcane options, as it were. His arcane arsenal is quite important to the party, actually. He has been insurmountable in providing a powerful ally to the otherwise very, very soft-skinned players, because their characters are not exactly durable. Okay, let's get these slimes handled here. Okay, now I can go back to placing torches. Yeah. That's the problem that my campaign is having, is just bad players being bad players, and therefore it's just causing problems, and I'm dealing with those problems as they arise. However, I can only deal with the problems one at a time, because if I do too many drastic changes, it just makes me seem as though I'm trying to be an asshole when I'm actually trying to just have a decent campaign. You know, it's like, look, I don't like being that guy that goes out of their way to tell people, hey, you know, this is what you need to do. But at the same time, like, this is what you need to do. Because if you don't, your character has a very high chance of dying. You know, I don't want your character to die. You seem to grow quite attached to your character at times, therefore, I don't want your character to die. Uh, you know, uh, I know that some people have a problem with people who sit there and they go, hey, you know, it would be really useful for you. It's like, I don't want to know. It's like, well, okay, I'm just trying to make sure you don't get your character killed, you know? Because, as you may or may not have heard, D&D is a game of, you know, people working together to succeed at a common goal. In this instance, that specific common goal happens to be the goal of not dying. A very, very effective goal. The goal of not dying allows people to, you know, sometimes work together in very, very large scale tasks as they continue to navigate the treacherous terrain that is life. If they do not succeed in navigating life, they have a tendency to die. That's just D&D and also real life in general. Okay. Okay. I am thinking about possibly accepting new players to my D&D game. One can expect the occasional adult themes. Therefore, if squeamish to such instances, need not apply type of situation, because I don't want you to be uncomfortable while playing the game. Therefore, if those types of situations do make you uncomfortable, well, just don't play my game. Let's see. What else is there? There is... Well, there's a torch right there for starters. I'm going to speed this up a little bit by just grabbing all of the surface layer. Then that'll expose all of the sections of bedrock which are just 1 deep. And if a section's just 1 deep, that's really easy to handle. It's sections like this that are difficult to handle. But that's fine. I'll handle it. This will allow me to fill in the surface deep areas where, like, maybe the bedrock starts at 4 instead of 5. Because 5 is the extreme of the bedrock layer. 1 is the most concentrated, 2 is second most concentrated, with very few sections ever actually reaching 1 that do not involve just a thick layer of bedrock. Yep, lots of progress getting made. I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you guys about D&D. I'm sitting here talking to you guys about all kinds of different topics over the various hours that I have discussed with my viewers, roughly 10 of which are recurring viewers, people who have watched multiples of my videos within the past 28 days. In case you guys were wondering about how many of you were, freshly returning. Additionally, I would like to point out that the start of the recording was at 6 p.m. for me. The videos are supposed to be getting published at 3 a.m. Therefore, I had 6 hours at the start of recording to record the videos, upload the videos, and then I have to basically turn around and record more videos because I have to do the exact same thing again tomorrow. Fun. This is basically going to be me forcing YouTube to properly upload all of my videos, or I'm just going to keep making it try and try again. If it ends up taking longer than 2 hours, I'm probably just going to restart the upload, because, like, I have 100 megabit per second internet. I should not have a 2 gigabyte video take, 17 hours to upload. That's not 17 megabit internet, that's dial-up. Now granted, there were 4 videos in that queue, but also granted, none of the videos completed in that 17-hour span until after everything, finished. They all finished simultaneously, and it's like, look, I understand your algorithm can sometimes struggle with sounds, especially with all the slimes that I was dealing with at the time. I had the monster volume up, I understand. A lot of it was difficult to hear, but at the same time, it's auto-generated, meaning it is an automation generating the chat, generating the captions. There is no reason for the automation, the automaton, to struggle that badly with filling in the captions. Oh, good. Minecraft managed to not crash everything. I believe it is, it's almost 8:30. For some reason, my phone keeps doing that every day at 8:30. No idea why. I have not been informed of any activities which cause that to happen. I have no idea why that happens. It just happens. I've kind of gotten used to it. I just shrug and say whatever, because I have no contextual clues about why it's doing that every day at 8:30. There's nothing I'm really doing at 8:30 every day. I haven't set up any alarms for 8:30. I haven't set up anything in my calendar for 8:30. It just kind of does that. And I have no idea why. I just know that it is a problem. That is all that I know. It is causing disruptions on my device. It's causing disruptions in my recording schedule. It is causing me problems. That makes it a problem. I don't know what's so special about 8:30 Central Daylight Time. It has nothing to do with the recording software that I'm aware of. It's just an occurrence. It's an event that happens every day at 8:30 for whatever reason. You know, it's not a feature of my phone, because I would have been notified of that feature. It's not nighttime mode kicking in because the sun set quite a long time ago. You know, it is, of course, evening, therefore the sun sets quite early in the evening, especially this time of year. There's not much to really go over on why my phone does half of the things that it does. There's no explanation given, you know? It just happens. Anyways, as I was saying, there is there is room in my campaign for more people. I would like to have more people in my campaign. It's just a matter of you have to be able to get along with everyone, basically. You have to be able to not be extremely toxic, because I'm gonna be honest, I've had plenty of toxic players in the past, and they're not fun. They're not the type that can be played alongside when playing Dungeons and Dragons. I have plenty of first-hand experience from this. I am a bit of a rules lawyer myself. I understand that game rules act in a certain manner, a certain method. Every now and then I do get a game rule not properly set up. When that happens, I do actually take note of what needs to be changed in order for that to be addressed properly. Progress can be a little slow at times. This is fine, because if progress was moving rapidly at a very constant rate, you would find yourself very bored. And, well, then no one's having fun, are they? Let's put that there, and that there. That works. Right, that's full. Okay. Got all kinds of different ores here. We have more than enough slime. Oops. Retrieve that. Deposit those. we can head back down to the bottom section here. Resume filling in all of this area. If you are interested in joining my D&D campaign, we do make use of the website roll20.net, as well as making use of the Discord app, which is also available on computer, in order to perform voice chat. I have a Discord server set up specifically for the campaign. It is mostly unused, other than actually for, voice chat. The primary use of the Discord server is the voice chat. It's it is a free roam style campaign where you are able to split the party. However, because of the dangers of the wilderness, it is very ill-advised to split the party. I don't mind warning you about the dangers of wandering out into the wilderness on your own. However, I also won't always stop you from wandering out into the wilderness on your own, because if you do, then you probably really want to go out on your own and do something, and that's understandable. However, it's also supposed to be understood that there is the possibility of the very first encounter you have being an ancient dragon of some form. Therefore, as long as that's understood, that your first encounter could theoretically be an ancient dragon, because none of the encounter tables are actually scaled to the player, and instead they're scaled to the region, meaning you can fight anything that you can find in a grasslands in the grasslands. You can fight anything that you find in the forest in the forest. It's just a matter of what shows up. I do perform a lot of small tweaks that help with the flow of the game, that help with keeping everything cohesive and consistent. The primary aspect of the campaign is that the player characters are going to be allowed to go all the way up to level 80 in their adventuring lifetime. Assuming they survive that long, that is. And if they do not survive that long, then I guess they didn't survive that long. Not much to be said about that. If they do survive that long, good for them. If they don't, too bad. What do you want me to tell you, right? Wait, did I seriously? No, I just got that wrong just now. I was like, did I seriously get that entirely wrong for that large of an expansive area? And it's like, no, I got it wrong just now. Therefore, trying to put a torch down and the slime's getting in the way. Okay. If you want to look into joining my Discord server for the possibility of joining my campaign, you want to leave a comment letting me know that you want to join the campaign, D&D campaign. And from there, we can work on building your character, we can work on building, your backstory, we can work on building basically the groundwork that consists of everything that your character is, basically. Now, I should point out that a blast furnace is normally never supposed to give out this much experience per item. However, I like this setup because this allows me to have a very, very simple experience farm that allows me to rapidly gain all of the levels that I need to enchant my gear, as well as providing me all of the materials which I need to, I'll craft some smooth stone. Oh, I can't do smooth stone. Can I do cobblestone at least? I can't do cobblestone. Well, blast furnaces aren't exactly very good then, are they? I mean, they are, but, it's just difficult. Oops. There we go. Let's see, what else do I need from up here? I probably need to craft... No, I don't think I need to craft that stuff yet. I do need to craft torches. I shall also craft this block of coal into more torches, because I need a lot of torches. There we go. Craft the block of gold, deposit the block of gold, deposit the gold ingot. And then I suppose I want to retrieve more smooth stone. And then head back down into the mine. Because I needed to finish lighting up the place. Okay, yeah. Leaving a like on the video does help. Subscribing to my channel helps. Leaving a comment helps. I enjoy hearing what you think of my video. I enjoy knowing that my video is being entertaining to the audience. I am aware that I am spending a lot of time focusing on this underground section of my base, which has very little to actually do with the base itself. This isn't even my base. This is the spawn chunks. This is the spawn base. Therefore, like, my base hasn't even actually been started yet. This is just what I'm doing with spawn, with the spawn chunks. It seems I have reached the section where I have not yet excavated. Yeah, a lot of the bedrock will just stop at y=3. However, there is a good majority of bedrock that will continue down to y=2. And for those, you just gotta fill them in, if you really want to prevent all silverfish from spawning, you just gotta dig it out, fill it in with smooth stone, get it done, get it out of the way. You don't really need to remove the dirt if you're going for silverfish spawning prevention, silverfish infestation prevention. As I mentioned, Silk Touch is invaluable when trying to excavate a section of pretty much any mine, from what I can tell. Silk Touch, of course, being the enchantment on the pickaxe that prevents silverfish from having the opportunity to spawn in. The Silk Touch specifically prevents the silverfish from experiencing what is known as the block break event. Instead of it sending as, player broke block, instead it will say something along the lines of Silk Touch, or something like that. Basically, the Silk Touch will prevent the monster from popping out of the block, which is kind of what you want. You don't want the monsters to pop out, because then you gotta deal with the monsters. Instead, you want them to remain in the block, but you just pick up the block and wander off. And then they're stuck inside the block, which is now permanently labeled as stone, because it cleared all of the metadata of the silverfish when you picked it up with the Silk Touch. In case you wondered how the Silk Touch clears out the silverfish, it actually transforms the block. It doesn't just clear metadata, it actually transforms the block into what it's supposed to be. Therefore, if I find a block that is listed as, Minecraft Monster Egg Stone, it will instead drop as Minecraft Stone, because as a part of the stealth of the of the monster egg, it prevents the player from knowing that it was a monster egg, as just part of the built-in protection that it has. Now, one thing I want to do is I want to give this thing its own torch, because this is technically a separate chunk from right here. There's a chunk border right here. And I know this because I managed to see it. It became very visible when the lighting did not properly load. If you're wondering about what the current party composition is, what kind of homebrew is accepted, we're not going for game breaking. You don't need to worry about your stats until you actually start making your character. I have a macro for it, therefore you don't gotta worry about it. We do rolled stats of 46, which is you take 4 6-sided dice, and then you roll the 6-sided dice to see what you get as the result. That result is then assigned to one of your stats. You do this for your stats, for all 6 of your stats, and that allows you to have a that allows you to have a decent chance at surviving as you try and basically not die before you hit level 2 or level 3. Level 3 is actually a lot more comfortable for surviving than level 2. Mostly due to the fact that level 3 is kind of where everyone tends to get their primary class abilities. Level 3 is just normally very difficult to kill anyways. Therefore, it's not really any big surprise that level 3 is an option for a goal. Knowing what kind of class your character is going to be interested in when you start playing is going to help. Having a general overview of what your plan of action is definitely helps a lot. Some people have characters that are very much standalone types, where they will create a character and then they expect the character to act a certain way in certain situations, but for the most part the character is just kind of left to their own devices. you know, they will, for example, figure out a general rule of thumb for how the character will act in certain situations, and then they might just not fill in the blanks on other things. The problem with that is if you don't show up to the session, I can only work with what information I have about the character. Therefore, if all of my information is not provided, then, I don't really have much to work on, and as a result, I might not represent your character properly. As I pointed out with Miki, the character which the player did not enjoy anymore, I only followed what was written on their character sheet. If they did not want that as part of their character, they could have very easily changed their character sheet at any point in the past year. They had ample opportunity to change that outcome. They did not make use of that opportunity. That's kind of on them. These Endermen, I think, have been taking blocks from below the visible layer here, which is kind of annoying. I just found diamonds at y equals 2. That is rare. I do expect the players to take notes. I do expect the players to... Oh, hush you. I'm recording. I do expect the players to take notes. I do expect the players to communicate with each other, work together, that kind of stuff. However, I'm not going to force the players to do that. That's not my job. I would like the players to perform some form of voice acting for their characters. Get into character, as they say. It's not required, but it definitely does make things seem a lot nicer in-game. Definitely keeps the attention spans focused, because if everyone's staying in character, then everyone's focused on the game, and they're not focused on whatever distraction pops up. Instead, they'll be like, hey, let's get back to the game. And everyone will be like, yeah, I have noticed that works. That actually works. People will stay in character longer if everyone is in character. If everyone is on point, then because everyone is focused, everyone is able to, properly portray their character. They're able to properly make good decisions with their character, decisions that their character would make. If your character has more of a, we'll say, bardic influence, then the bards of the party will go off and do bard things. If they have more of a, more of a cleric influence, then yeah,